Hi, hello everyone. First of all, let me express how sorry I am not to be able to partake this spiritual banquet with you. But thanks to technology, at least we can be together and we can be here studying and reflecting on mediumship. And the topic that we are bringing to you today in relation to mediumship is a topic that I particularly like very much in terms when we talk about the importance of mediumship and what is mediumship for. Sometimes we get so distracted in the fact of, all the phenomena, everything that is happening, and new phenomena that may come and start dazzling people. But the thing is, mediumship has a very important aim, and this aim is to be a catalyst for spiritual awakening. And this is a great opportunity for all of us because we know that mediumship is a unique characteristic of the psyche of all human beings. But how are we going to be using it? How are we going to be dealing with the mediumship and understanding why we are mediums, why do we have this ability of conversing with spirits and being touched both sides of life, the incarnate and the discarnate alike. See if it's possible for us to start sharing our screen as well. If not, we will go without the presentation. That's no problem. Okay, so we have separated here. So let me get back. First, this is to start the presentation. So mediumship is a catalyst for spiritual awakening. So some basic facts that we have, that when Allan Kardec states in the Medium's book that mediumship is the ability that we have to communicate with spirits. It is not the privilege of a select few, but it's a faculty that can be developed by anyone with a sincere desire for spiritual understanding. So since we are all mediums, we all have the ability of, communicating with spirits. And it is important for us that the more we apply ourselves in that, the more we really give ourselves with goodwill and focusing on a good work to connect with spirits that are going to bring enlightenment to us, the more we will be capable to be working with this special talent, so to say, when we are talking about ostensive mediumship. And is often viewed mediumship through several lenses as spiritual, psychological, and cultural, and each one of them will bring a different perspective, a unique significance, but we know that it combines the three aspects of the being. In the spiritual context, mediumship is considered a gift that allows individuals to connect with higher realms of consciousness and gain knowledge beyond the physical senses, and also individuals gain insights and wisdom that can significantly enhance their personal and spiritual growth. But let's see what is the role of mediumship in the spiritual awakening, like we were talking about being a catalyst for our spiritual awakening. So we have listed a few topics, a few things that we can think about, mediumship in terms of how it can facilitate to us our process of spiritual evolvement. And one of the things is that facilitating connection with the spirit realm. So it provides individuals with the opportunity to connect with the departed loved one, spirit guides, and other entities. This connection can be deeply healing, offering comfort and closure to those grieving the loss of a loved one. I believe that for us, spiritists, we do understand so much already about both plans of existence. We understand our role here and as incarnate spirits. What are we what are we doing here? Our aim in terms of striving for a spiritual evolvement. But for those that have not this knowledge and they are just, looking for things and feeling that void within themselves, it's very important for us to not to dismiss all the concepts that we have, and even when they are perhaps in awe because of mediumship, because this understanding, or the first time you touch bases, so to say, with mediumship, and is starting to grasp the understanding that life goes on, that there is a possibility for them to communicate with us, it brings this completely spiritual awakening. Now we're living in a certain reality with certain convictions, and they were shook by not another set of values that unveils to us all this possibility of communicating with spirits, or of them being present with us, and the way that it brings consolation above all, and it will help us here, to heal when we go through the experience of losing a loved ones, but at the same time, it helps them because they know that they still somehow can impact us in our lives. Another important things in terms of spiritual awakening is this promoting self-discovery and awareness, because the first thing that we said is this awareness, but now I have to go to this process of self-discovery, and so I will start researching in terms of spiritual beliefs, in terms of experiences that I'm feeling myself, certain experiences that we could have been going through, like for instance, let's say that you were prone to have vivid dreams, but you were not paying attention to them before. Now, knowing that they are not just dream, or not necessarily just dreams, you are going to be analyzing more and thinking more about all the experiences that we had, you had, or we had while sleeping, and even the advices that may come in this sense. We are going to be paying more attention to intuitions, presentiments, all of those things, all of those ways that spirits actually are going to be using to communicating with us. And so in this sense, when we are going through this journey, of course, there will be fears, there will be doubts, there will be questions. We have questions until today. I mean, I myself have so many unanswered questions, but I have learned that now, there is so much to be unveiled in terms of the work of the creation that we have to be patient. But this process of self-examining ourselves is what is going to help us in this process of spiritual growth. And all of that is started because of the communication. It started because we know that life goes on. We know that even in the spiritual realm, we are working for our spiritual progress and waiting opportunities to return to be able to continue in this journey. So this is going to encourage us, because there was the first step, which was, the first awakening, right? When I get in touch with all this knowledge, and now what is the purpose of all this? Because it's interesting. I think it's very interesting when people hear about mediums and mediumship and communication with their loved ones, and they don't do anything. They don't act on it. Like, how come this is possible? They do not go and research. They do not go and try try to learn, study a little bit about that. So the first phase, that is the awakening, that leads then, like we said, to the self-discovery. Now it means after I go to this first two stages, I have to be working on my personal transformation, because it's not just about gaining knowledge or understanding and being able to realize that yes, we can communicate with spirits, but it's what this mediumship is telling me. It is telling all of us that life goes on, and every effort that we put in our lives today will actually help us in the sense of this personal transformation and growth. So we have so many books, messages of spirits that will inspire us to this reevaluation of our values, of our relationships, of our life choices. So I remember, you know, one time that there is a story that they talk about Chico Xavier, that he was going through a very challenging time in his life, and he asked Emmanuel, you know, kind of, you know, why are you not helping me going through this phase? And Emmanuel kindly pointed him in the direction that all the messages, all the knowledge that he was gathering was actually to prepare him for, you know, to go through this bad, challenging phase that he was going through. And the same, we have a similar story with Divaldo Franco as well, when the spirit Joana de Angelis says that, you know, I always write to you and you share with others, you know, all those messages that in fact, because they are messages of words of eternal life, they will touch us personally. So this, in terms of this transformation, this work on transformation is absolutely necessary. And everything comes from this inspiration, for this guidance. And sometimes, you know, being able to communicate directly with the spirits. One thing that we will gather from all of this is that it's going to enhance our empathy and compassion, in the sense that we will be understanding that now we are all connected, that we are all children of God, and that we are all, you know, living similar experiences. We all desire peace and harmony and opportunities. So when we start thinking that we are living actually shared human experiences, we are sharing human experience, we are not going to look at the other anymore with you know, a kind of judging or easily condemning them because they are not doing what we think they should be doing. We are going to be more empathetic, having more compassion. That is absolutely the fruit of love, because love is the greatest law of the universe. And this is what we are here to do, to learn to love one another. So when we are talking about that, when we talk about even the experiences that we may have in mediumship meetings, and we see those spirits that come and communicating, saying, you know, how sorry they are for what they did. Of course, at the beginning, they are very adamant in pursuing their goals, and many times this means persecuting someone, all enveloped by revenge, and little by little they realize that this is not the way, how much they are, you know, suffering themselves. And there is no way that we cannot feel empathy with them, even knowing that their ways so far, very much like ours many times, are not exactly one of good choices that we have to change and continue in a different direction. I like very much this phrase that we find in this book, Bezerra, Chico, and You, where he says that spiritism that merely inquires has long given way to a spiritism that reaches out. So this applies very much to what we are talking about here. First, in terms of sometimes we wanted to know so much, we want to understand so much, have all the technical understanding in terms of mediumship and how spirits can communicate. But as valuable as this is, and we as much as we can, we should do that. This could never be the most important thing as us remembering that we are all here to reach out, to help each other, and to use all this knowledge as, mediumship as a catalyst for spiritual progress of personal, individual transformation, but individual transformation that means I understand that I live in society, and as so, I have to give my best because, everything that one does is going to wind up impacting the life of others. And we have then the next item is providing guidance and clarity. So how much, can we really gather for or learn from mediumship? Because while we were talking about this personal cases of Chico, Divaldo, in terms of going through challenging times, we all go through challenging times. And sometimes, or many times, even if the messages are not directly provided to us, they do not come, this is a message for Jussara in this personal moment, like Emmanuel was telling Chico, all the messages, all the knowledge that we have so far, they are knowledge that will give us strength, that will, if we use them, because sometimes we just accommodate and we don't see how much those messages, the knowledge that we already have through so many books, can guide us. And we have also this idea that sometimes, this message is very good for my neighbor, but not for myself. And this is, I believe, one of the reasons why sometimes when we go read one book and then we read it again, we see things differently, or so many more things pop up at our eyes because that we haven't seen the first time we read it, because our inner disposition as well changes, the moment we are living changes, and especially being more open to see what are the message. So those messages, the spirits that are providing them to us, come to help us and guide us. They cannot tell us precisely what we should be doing in our private, personal lives. But as a rule, they give us so much. For starters, like Jesus said, my disciples will be known for loving one another. So we wanted to be a follower of Jesus. We wanted to be called his disciple. There is this that Jesus said, is love above all, is understanding, is compassion. And a healing emotional trauma. We know that we are the best version of ourselves today, right? And of course, because of our history in terms of all the reincarnations that we had, we come with a lot of baggage. There is a lot of trauma, and some of them we can identify, or we can easily identify, others not so much. And knowing that we bring that understanding about the continuation of life, being capable of learning from other spirits their experiences, and this is one thing that led me to put together this book, Transcendence, Life After Death, because it brings a lot of communications from spirits that have made their passage to a spirit, to the spirit realm, without having knowledge of spiritism, without understanding quite well what they were doing and what was happening to them. And in the moment that they were rescued, and they share those moments with us, the moment that they were rescued, that the spirits could talk to them and explain to them what was going on and how much, you know, they were loved, they were going to be taken care of, and they would be in a way be guided to grow and to prepare themselves for a new opportunity. So this, all of that will be healing us, and us knowing that, especially through mediumship meetings, knowing of their emotional wounds and everything, we start to sympathize with them, because in many cases, when they are giving their sharing with us their testimonials, we'll see that there are some similar things that are happening to us as well. And so in this sense, the healing, that is not just the absence of suffering, because I may not be suffering necessarily for that. I just have this anguish that I cannot identify. But I know that although I do not have the details of what happened, I don't feel in peace. And this is what I'm trying to go through. I wanted to be able to restore this peace, and this as well is a benefit that we can gather from everything that we've been receiving from the spirits. Another point is cultivating a sense of community. So when we participate in mediumship practice, or not necessarily mediumship, but when we are in the spiritist groups, when we are spirited gathering, we will meet like-minded individuals that are like us, seeking for spiritual growth. And truth be told, you know, it's not so easy for us to find so many people like that today. Everyone is so distracted with so much that has been happening in our world, and losing faith in the world, in themselves, and people. So when we are in an environment that fosters, you know, this belief, this faith, for us to understand that we belong, and that there are other people that, like ourselves, are looking for more answers. And not that, because sometimes, you know, just be looking for answers is not what it's going to change everything. But with everything that we already have, how much can we contribute to change, to improve? Maybe it's not going to be as much as we want to, but definitely each one of us, in terms of a community, we will find a strength, and we will help each other, give strength and support to each other in our spiritual journey. So let us see gatherings like this one that we are having now with you guys. You know, how important it is to see so many people engaging in these activities, and the effort that each one of us are doing in order to move on and to continue in the sense of bettering ourselves. And of course, the main point is always to encourage a deeper exploration of spiritual beliefs, because we cannot just stay in the surface, or meaning okay, I understand the basics. Life goes on. I'm an immortal spirit, and I will have other incarnations. But what can we do to take advantage of this knowledge, of this information that we have, this precious knowledge that we have? Because we not only can speed up the process, but we can help the community. We can help our world in this sense as well. And there is only one way, is this diving deeper, you know, to um, gather more understanding, not just from the mental perspective, but from the heart. Because it's not just about understanding intellectually speaking, but when it comes to the day-to-day practices, we see that we are still our old self. And because we are not you know, doing this deeper exploration, when a situation arises that may require more patience, more us be self-centered, we will sometimes in surprise seeing that we are not there yet. But because we are not really working in this direction. And again, in terms of this community, we can gather this understanding and knowledge and find, so to say, a possibility to continue, because the quest for knowledge is a journey that never ends. There is a workshop that we have and related to mediumship, and one of the things that we mention is one of the phrases that the spirit, not spirit, but Leon Denis used to say, that the study of mediumship takes more than just one lifetime. It is much more than we can imagine, that we can grasp in just one existence. Why? Because, like we said at the beginning, it's related to the human psyche. And we are always evolving. Thank God, we are always evolving. This is our goal here. So the more I evolve, the more I evolve in terms of possibility as well. And the more I will understand in terms of all the messages that we have. So nurturing personal responsibility, it's very important as well, because many times we have this tendency of believing that, you know, it's other faults. There is nothing I can do about it, when in fact we are the architect of our own destiny, and we have to take responsibility, to be mature enough to know that we have the power to shape our lives. And of course, when we are doing that, what I do, it's a ripple effect, right? It impacts the lives of people that lives close to me, and in their turn, it impacts the lives of others that live close to them, and this goes in a ripple effect. And fostering a lifelong spiritual journey. Like we were saying from Leon Denis, it's not just about one existence. It's not just, you know, I already had read the 5 books of the codification, I know everything. No, there's so much more for us to know. But like we said before, and put in practice, because it's not just about theory. So, and when we go into this this journey, when we have this understanding, this quest that is a journey that never ends, we will feel so amazed, and it will bring us fulfillment, like, the spiritual Ana de Angelis always invites us to plenitude, to live a fulfilling life that is not a life that just goes into the surface, or even worse, that when we feel this void, but it's understanding why we are here, why God has allowed me to have these experiences that I'm having, and why I have all these blessings of knowing and understanding. If not, that this should promote our spiritual awakening. So everything, like when Kardec started with mediumship, and I love this a statement that he mentions in the Spiritist Journey 1862, that he says that the most significant aspect of spiritism is not the mediumistic phenomenon itself, but rather its principles and the moral implications that arise from them. So this is what we are talking about here today. Mediumship is a catalyst for spiritual improvement, for our spiritual evolution, because once we know, once we have the information, once we have all this knowledge, this understanding, I'm no longer going to be looking at the communication of spirits just with a curious mind, but I will be drinking for their fountain of wisdom to see what can, each of the drops of that they can provide me, that can help me to become a better person. And so this is our goal. How can we improve and continue in this journey, remembering that is the moral implication, that our goal today is be better than we were yesterday, and so on, and continue in this journey. And the Spirit Emmanuel, he says, Spiritism in its triple aspect, scientific, philosophical, and religious, serve as a liberating movement for consciousness, which is what we were talking about at the beginning. It's, that awakening, right? However, it is only through the practice of spiritism that individuals can truly free their consciousness. So it's the first moment, like we said, the self-awakening, right? And then when we are going to start going deeper in terms inner transformation, right? And he continues saying, do not forget that practical spiritism may represent the spiritism of the self, but only practice is spiritism reflects the spiritism of God. So practical in the sense, if we are just getting all those information and saying, no, okay, this is beautiful, this is wonderful, but it has no application in my life, or I have all this understanding and knowledge that I'm, satisfying the self, right? This is not what we are talking about here. This is not what mediumship is for, and not is what spiritism is for. But like Kardec said, it's for us to work in our moral transformation and our inner transformation, and in this way reflecting God in our day-to-day lives. So this is the purpose that we have in this sense. And we brought to you a poem so that we can conclude our presentation. In twilight's glow where shadows meet, a whisper travels soft and sweet from realms beyond our earthly sight, a dance of souls, a guiding light. Through gentle hands and open hearts, a median channels bridging parts of those who've crossed to the other side in sacred space where spirits abide. With every sigh, a story flows of love once lost and wisdom grows. Messages wrapped in ethereal thread, bringing comfort to the tears we shed. Each word a balm, each thought a spark, illuminating paths once dark. In the stillness, connections bloom, rekindling hope, dispelling gloom. For grief is but a fleeting guest. In the arms of love we find our rest. Through Median's gift, the veil grows thin, a reunion of hearts where healing begins. So let honor the sacred call, the ties that binds us all, one and all, for in the dance of life and death, mediumship breathes eternal breath. So it's thanks to mediumship that we are capable of getting so many important messages and guidance to our lives. We should never see mediumship as just a phenomenon, as a tool for us to satisfy our curiosity, or even just to go after messages that sometimes our loved ones cannot provide to us, not as much as we would like to. But let us be certain that they are with us, and let us be certain that if mediumship is in our lives today, if we are having all this wealth of material, of precious messages and books and the codification, all the works that so many have been doing in benefit of humankind, is because of God's love for us. It is because of God's mercy for us. It is because this God that wants us to take advantage of the good things we have in the earth, that we have around us, instead of focusing on what is not exactly the way we would like to be. So let us praise mediumship in this way, in this sense, that it can open us a door to us continue in our path, in our journey of spiritual evolvement. So with gratitude to the spirits that have been inspiring us, that have been dictating messages through us, that have been, communicating with us during our sleep time, and that are right around us at this moment, working with us, inspiring us, and whispering words of encouragement, because each one of us can and should be doing this work of spreading love and enlightenment in our world. Thank you so much for all the attention and for this opportunity, and God bless us all.